guys. Here we are again. Happy Tuesday. Gonna wait for some of you to come on. So glad to be here again. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. I have my crew here like always. Another one is over there stalking me because she thinks it's lunchtime again. It's not. It is, if you can believe it, snowy in Las Vegas today. Happens once every couple of years. So we've had some snow, which has been really fun for the 3 years because last time it was snowy 2 years ago. She did not enjoy the snow, but now she gets to make snowballs and everything. So that was fun. Let me know where you're watching from when you're coming on. This is let me grab this down here. This is a Q&A. So feel free to ask any questions that you have. It's a Q&A, but it's also, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the new Eat to Live family. I'm going to have my board back here of all my awesome new members. They are wonderful. I know so many of you actually from various things that I've done over the years. And so to see your names coming in is really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, let's see. So let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I am hoping this, usually I have more people. There you are. No, now you're starting. Come on. It's so weird. Sometimes nobody shows up and then all of a sudden a bunch of people show up. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. I want to say hello to you. As I said, this is a Q&A, so feel free to ask any questions. These are always Q&As. If you have anything you're struggling with right now, but I do want to tell you my 4-part system stopping food cravings. So this video is about how to stop food cravings. I'm going to give you real information today. I'm not going to give you any fluff. We're going to talk. Judy from Oregon, hello. Thanks for piping up. There's a bunch of you on here now. Let me know where you're coming from. Where are you watching from? And how's the weather? Is it snowy where you are? It's a little snowy here in Vegas. I'm going to give you some real information how to stop food cravings today. And I want to entice you to consider joining the Eat to Live family. Jerome from Barbados in the Caribbean. Awesome. Hello, Jerome. How's the weather there? Cheri, we got Tamara, sorry if I said it wrong, from Nashville. And it's snowy in Oregon. Yep. Robert Baker. Rose from North Carolina. Hello, Rose. Yeah, we've got a little out of the ordinary weather, but it's really nice to have some snow every once in a while. Sunny in Barbados for sure. It's usually sunny here in Vegas too, but it's nice to have a little change every once in a while. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the Eat to Live family, which is open for registration now. And in doing so, I'm also going to give you some extra information about cravings. We're going to talk about how to stop food cravings for good. This isn't going to be a fluff. Tamara. It must be Tamara then. Hi, Tamara. Sunny in Nashville. Nice. Soak it up. So we're going to talk about cravings today. And I want you guys to, I was just on a Facebook Live and they were very quiet. So I would love for you guys to be commenting, action oriented. Let me know some of the things. If you're thinking something that I say and, spark some thought, let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section. You guys are always a little bit better for being active. So be active in the comment if you can. Let me know if you learned anything or you liked anything I said. So we're going to talk about how to stop food cravings with my system. And I want to talk a little bit about, so we'll get into it. I want to talk a little bit about how you actually stop cravings over time. So I'll give you the 4-part system. That's the action steps. But I mean like in general, how do you stop the cravings, okay? You stop cravings by stopping binging, by stopping overeating. So the sort of, oh, thanks. She says, by the way, you look great. I've lost 9 pounds. I'm feeling good about that. And I do share that in my weight loss vlog and exactly how I'm doing that in my weight loss vlog, which is included in the Eat to Live family. So if you're interested in finding out how I'm doing it exactly, I'm doing a whole vlog on everything I'm doing. in order to lose that weight. Some days are not as good as others, like yesterday, but we won't talk about that right now. I talk about that in the vlog. But we'll get back to cravings here for a sec. Thanks so much, Tamara. So I read a book one time. A client of mine had told me about this book called Brain Over Binge and asked me if I had read it before, and I hadn't read it. And I was very interested myself in the sort of psychology around cravings and things like that, right? So I read the book and I really loved the book because what it taught me, and it was a very basic book. There's something about it I don't like. I'll tell you in a sec. But what it taught me was in order to stop cravings, you have to stop the behavior that perpetuates the cravings. And I'll tell you what that is in a sec too. And I was like, that's great and all. It's good to know that. Now, how do I stop the behavior? Okay. So I'm going to tell you how to do that on this call. But that was the first kind of piece of information I needed to know, which is that, oh, so it's possible to stop cravings, right? Because I always thought it's just a thing that happens to us. They're never going to go away, whatever. But this book told me that the cravings can actually go away. The binging can actually stop, or the overeating, the emotional eating. You can actually stop that by stopping the behavior first, right? So you say the behavior creates a reference point. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, as you're doing this behavior, your brain is, your brains are really good. Our brains are really good at learning stuff, but they're really good at learning good stuff, but they're also really good at learning bad stuff. So when we learn positive patterns, like how to play the piano or a new language or whatever, brains can do that, but they can also learn negative patterns like overeating and binging and things like that. So as we're learning these things and we're basically teaching ourselves how to do it by repetitious behavior, in order to end that craving, we have to stop that repetitious behavior. But then it's like, okay, but how do you do that? And I'm going to tell you how to do that today. So that first piece of information about that you actually can stop food cravings was kind of like, oh, good. Yay. At least there's that, right? At least I know I can shoot for something. I don't know how I'm going to get there yet, but I'm going to be one of those people that can stop my cravings too. Now, the Eat to Live diet is really interesting because, it's called Miles, you're here too. He was in the Facebook one too. Hey, Miles. Yeah, snow over here. It's crazy. My Psalm 40. The book title is Brain Over Binge by Katherine Hansen. Brain Over Binge. And let me just put real quick, I'm going to put a link to join the family in the comment section. I always do that. I forgot to do that. I'm going to put a link over here so that you guys, if you're interested, it's only open for registration right now. I'm going to pin this to the top. It's only going to be open for a few more days. You're welcome. And it is the best price it will ever be right now. You can join all these amazing people in the family as well. And there's going to be a lot more once I let the Academy members in too. No, Miles, we talked about this before. I know you live in Canada and you think you have the monopoly on understanding snow, but I'm from Michigan, so I understand snow too. And that's why I live in Vegas, because I understand snow. So yeah, just go check out some information about the Eat to Live family. Open for registration now. It is not going to be open after a couple days from now. I'm going to close it down for reals. You won't be able to get into it for months because I want to focus on the members, make it super, super amazing, and then reopen it again at a higher price later. So make sure you get in now. You will be locked into that price as long as you stay in, and you can keep that price. Basically what it is, monthly coaching membership. We're going to do calls like this where I'm going to actually bring you on camera. I'm going to coach you through your specific struggles. You'll be able to do that with other people. So you'll be able to see other people coach too. Very specific help for you. And the Eat to Live Academy is included in it. If you can believe it, my weight loss vlog is included in it. And the best part about it, if that wasn't enough, I sound like such a salesperson. I don't mean to sound like that, but really, I'm telling you, the best part about this is I'm paying for another network. So we're not using Facebook because Facebook is so distracting. And there's so many shiny objects all around you, click on this, go over here, do this, whatever. This is one community. We're all going to be in the same community together, focusing on one thing. and there's not going to be all this other stuff. We're going to be in our own community. Okay. That's why I'm calling it the have people just like us who have the same goal, the same aspirations, whether it's just to eat weight loss. We're going to be focusing on both of those. As I'm a life coach, we focus on everything. So it's not just weight loss and healthy that we need to focus on. It's how we feel better about all the situations in our life so that we can eat better instead of emotionally eating. Boss said this, or my girlfriend did that, or my husband said this, or whatever, or COVID, whatever. You guys how to roll with the punches, so to speak, that life hands us and not eat about them, if you know what I mean. Okay. So, Eat to Live family, open right now. Go to the link to check it out. Let's get back to the topic here, how to stop craving. So, you have to stop the behavior in order to get the cravings to stop. How do we stop the behavior? I'll give you the 4-part solution in just a sec. But we have a lot of things around us that have created this for us, right? So what is the cause of all this emotional eating? What is the cause of all this binging and all this overeating? It's not our fault. I want to tell you that first, which is something we go into detail in the Eat to Live Academy. It's all based on, let me come back to you, Tamara. It's all based on the fact that we're in a society that creates opportunities for us to eat stuff that's not useful for us. Pizza everywhere, donuts everywhere. I mean, you just have advertisements all the time on TV, and between every commercial break, you drive past Starbucks, you drive past all these billboards, you see things online. There's just no end to the kind of stuff that we see, not to mention the foods that they're advertising. Like when a food has an advertising budget, when it has a marketing budget, you should not be eating that food, right? Like when they have enough money to be able to spend getting you to eat more of it. It's so funny too, because now I look at it so differently. Every time I see a company like McDonald's or Taco Bell or Starbucks advertising their food, or Burger King, whatever, they always have the word cravings in their advertising because they know they're preying on you. They know what they're doing to you. I remember a McDonald's advertisement that said, it was something, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like cravings don't stop at 1 a.m. or something. So it was about them staying up until 2. So the drive-thru was open until 2, like cravings don't take a break or whatever. Every time I see a Taco Bell advertising, it's always about cravings because they know what they're doing to you and they're just perpetuating this. They're helping your brain learn negative patterns, right? So we have a lot of help to have this emotional eating, to continue this behavior. So how do we reverse that? I'm going to give you a simple 4-step process here. So I had an example of a break room with donuts in it in my last video. Let's find a different one. Let's say we are going over to a friend's house for dinner, right? And they know we're nutritarian, but they're not nutritarian. So maybe they have a salad and something that we can eat and everything seems great, except they're also serving a really delicious dessert. Let's say it's brownies or something, okay? And it's made with eggs and milk and whatever, however you make brownies. Just a very like standard American diet type food. So you go over there and you're really worried because you're going over there and you want to be with your friends, but they're having this food that isn't very helpful for you. Tamara, yeah, you say, I really wish I could join the family with my husband's illness. I'm not able to afford it. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully at some point in the future, you will be able to. Things hopefully will turn a corner for you. We would love to have you in there. And I'm sure you probably know this, but my YouTube channel has so much free stuff. My Facebook group, they have the High Nutrient Lifestyle group. They have so much amazing content in there too. So hopefully you can find some stuff that's really helpful. And I'm going to just continue to be giving out this information in various places. I haven't told anyone this, but I'm actually hoping to start a podcast in the first half of this year. So I'm going to be sort of splitting out my YouTube content and my podcast content. So that podcast will all be like this mindset stuff. So hopefully I'll have a lot more stuff for you to help you out. Hello, all love, no hate. So happy to see you. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you're just coming in, there's a bunch more of you. So let me know where you're watching from and how is the weather. Okay. So let me recap. We have said that cravings can end, they can stop. But in order to stop them, we have to actually stop the behavior that creates. But how do we stop that behavior? I'll tell you that in a sec. But we have reasons why we crave. So I want you to understand that all these things we see around us that are creating these cravings for us, it's not our fault, right? We're just set up. We're being set up to have cravings. And if you don't know that they're spending millions and billions of dollars on getting you to eat their food, well, now you know. That's what they do. So you can just eat their food. There's scientists and professionals that are hired specifically to get you to eat more of their food, right? There's the bliss point. Look this stuff up. You go down a rabbit hole of the kind of stuff that companies will do to know exactly how much sugar to put in so that it's not too sweet, but it's just enough to start to create these chemical reactions in your brain and make you crave, right? They literally do this to us. So it's good information for us to know that it's not our fault. But then we're left with, okay, but how do I stop it? So I'm going to give you, Deborah says, nice to be here from lovely, cold Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm with you, girl. I'm in Vegas too. It's wonderful. Isn't today so much fun with all the snow? We did my daughter and I were out and I made, because she's 3 and she wasn't really interested, but a little snowman about this tall. The Facebook group is called the High Nutrient Lifestyle Group. And your name was, let me find out, Jerome. So go there, check that out. There's so much good stuff. There's tons of people in there, so much good stuff in there that you can find. And Psalm is here from Southern California, sunny and cold. Yeah. Virginia, cold and rainy. Yeah, it's pretty cold here too. Not raining anymore, but we were having some fun, massive snowflakes yesterday. And the snowballs are just the perfect packing snow, where you can just like pick it up and it makes a snowball itself. So we were like throwing them against the wall and having a lot of fun today. Okay, so we're talking about this stuff because this is exactly what we talk about in the Eat to Live family, which is a monthly coaching membership, super affordable. Never opened it before, but we've already got more than 48 people. I know this only shows 48, but there's going to be others joining in a week too, who are getting a very special deal because they were already in the Eat to Live Academy. But all these folks are already joining. Just imagine coming on calls with these specific people who are doing the same exact thing as you, who have the same goals of healthy eating for life and possibly even weight loss too, learning about our struggles together. I'll be teaching you everything I know about how to lose weight and how I personally do it as well. And I'll be coaching you too through life coaching stuff as well. So it's going to be super awesome. Now, I'm going to get to the nitty gritty, the actual 4-part system for stopping food cravings. And Jerome says, this is great info. I'm into holistic healing, or as I call it, wholeness lifestyle, and its connection to the mind, body, spirit, 100%. Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be going into a lot of that stuff. What I like to call, so I am certified from the Life Coach School, and I always say that the Life Coach School teachings is basically Zen Buddhism for dummies. It's like, how do you become enlightened or more enlightened? How do you become empowered and peaceful and calm without having to go become a Buddhist because maybe that's inaccessible to you or it's not interesting or whatever? How do you find that inner peace using your thoughts, using your mind, that sort of a thing? So that's what we'll be doing. Miles, Winnipeg, Canada. Yep. Colder than the surface of Mars today. Oh no, there was a snowman climbing into your neighbor's basement window earlier today. It must be really cold. I'm just imagining the snowman that I made. It would have been the perfect size. Actually, I'll show you guys a picture and you can see my little daughter making snowman, watching mommy make a snowman, actually. Here she was. I'll just cut off her face a little bit because there's my snowman that I made, you guys. Of course, you guys got to see her last week, though, when she crashed the party, but that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. So the 4-part system for stopping food cravings for good. As I said, in order to stop the cravings, we have to actually stop the behavior. There's another thing we can do too, which is eat high nutrient food. And this is a massive part of what we do on the nutritarian diet. And I always say that eating nutritarian food for some of us will get you about 70% of the way. The other 30% is still that binge eating and whatever, where you actually have to use your mindset to get there. And I'm going to tell you a trick. Not a trick, but like a very well-known technique that you can use mindset-wise to get over cravings. And the more you practice this, the more you keep trying this and keep doing this. I mean, this can happen several times throughout your day, 5, 10, 15 times throughout your day, depending on how many times you're craving that day or whatever. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. The brain actually releases you from cravings. Like, it will stop doing all these cravings because it knows that you're onto it. Right? Like, to simplify that. It knows that you're not going to be responding to those cravings all the time. So it will actually stop serving you cravings because the brain wants to conserve energy. It's one of our, just biological functions. It wants to conserve energy. And so if it's expending energy to make you crave, which it does, it actually expends calories to create thoughts and brain activity and things like that, that takes calories. If it realizes that it's continuing to make you crave and you're not answering it, it's going to shut off those cravings at some point. And that's a lot of what, this book, Brain Over Binge, kind of solidifies that as well, talks about that. So this idea that, wow, we can actually stop it if we can just get to the point of stopping it, of craving less. I got to let this cat out because otherwise she's just going to meow the whole time. Go. All right, guys. All right, so the 4-part system here we do. So you might have heard this actually before, if you ever heard about meditation or anything like that, or as I'm talking about this sort of Zen for dummies, how do we get to this place of peace around food? How do we get to this place of like lack of attachment to food? Because we all feel like loving our food and being so into our food is important. But I argue it's the opposite. Like, we should actually not care about food at all. And we should just eat food for fuel, because we should be taking that energy that we're spending caring about something that doesn't care back and caring about things in our life that would care back, family members or our own health or our goals in life, right? These things can care back for us, whereas food never cares back unless you're choosing the right kind of food, right? So if we're trying to get to this place of sort of non-attachment to food, which is a very Zen kind of concept, how do we do that? What does that look like? It looks like being in peace about food, being very just like peaceful, calm, no drama. Like, we don't get riled up. We just like eat what we have to eat, right? That's how we finally get there. So how do we do that? 4-step process. Step number 1. So we are at our friend's house. They have these donuts in front of us. Or the donuts, sorry, we were talking about that in last call. The brownies in front of us for dessert at the friend's house, and we don't want to eat them. Say we've decided that we don't want to have dessert. We've had plenty of food. We're totally satisfied. We don't need to partake. But so we have this craving for them though, right? We see them and our brain is kind of going a little bit crazy. The first thing that we do is we notice our thoughts about that food. We notice that, what I call the thought hurricane. It's like the flurry that just starts inside of our head of all these thoughts. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you're liking any of this stuff, if you're learning anything, let me know. Or if you have any questions, let me know too. So we start to notice our thoughts around these brownies, for instance. So we're sitting there, like, let's say they've served some dessert wine or something like that. Maybe you're having some of the wine, but you don't want to have the brownies or whatever. Everyone's just hanging out, or maybe they served coffee, right? End of the meal. Everyone's having some coffee. And you're like, sure, I'll have some coffee, but I'm not going to have any brownies, right? But notice what's happening inside your brain. Your brain starts to give you cravings for those brownies, yeah? So we're sitting there and our brain is just like lit up with our thoughts about those brownies. Oh, I really want those. I wish I could have them. And we have some physical sensations going on too that happen because of our thoughts. So our thoughts kind of turn into this big flurry, like super crazy, like, I want to eat those brownies. They're so good. Oh, I love brownies so much. They're going to be so soft and chewy and warm and gooey and whatever, right? And then our thoughts create our feelings. So we realize that our feelings are urgent and desirous, and I got to have those brownies and just wanting, right? Our actions that come out of feelings like that are eat the brownies, right? So that's what we talk about in my coaching. That's how it works. It kind of goes thoughts, feelings, and actions. So what we want to do is find a way that we can become peaceful about food instead of desiring and urgent and, feeling like we deserve it and all those kinds of things. And the way that we do that is by changing our thoughts. So normally what we would do in a situation like this is we would just allow that hurricane to overtake us, and then we would end up having a brownie and eat the brownie, and that's it. It'd be sort of this subconscious, unconscious, just motion. You just eat the brownies and that's it. But what I'm going to ask you to do, step number 1, is first notice your thoughts. Now, we don't always notice our thoughts in situations like this. Often we just will go and eat the brownie instead. But what I'm asking you to do is just take a split second. And it can feel pretty uncomfortable to do this, but just take a split second and just look at your thoughts first. Okay. So you're sitting there, you're hearing all your friends talking. Maybe you have some coffee in front of you and they're serving the brownies and you're about to say whether you want some or not. And you've got this split second in your mind of, should I have them or not? And you just think to yourself, what am I thinking about them? That one question you can ask yourself, what am I thinking right now, is going to start this process of awareness. And what we're trying to do here is just be aware, because when we're aware, it creates a little bit of a pause. That pause before we just go and eat the brownies is what's going to get us to the place of down the line, from practicing this for a while, having no cravings anymore. So this pause, so we notice our thoughts. Now, if our thoughts are something like, I said, I got to have those brownies, I really want those, whatever, just noticing that, seeing the hurricane and going like, oh, there we are, I'm craving, right? So those are the first 2 steps. The first step is notice. The second step is acknowledge. You guys should write this down if you can. All right. Let me know if any of this is sparking a light bulb for you, anything, or ask me questions about this too. I'm just going to give you the 4 steps and I'll go into detail for more of the rest of them too. So number 1 is to notice. Number 2 is to acknowledge. Number 3 is to allow. And number 4 is to assess. So number 1, notice what's happening to you. Take that split second of pause and just notice, oh my gosh, I'm really craving. You're sitting there with your friends, you got the coffee in front of you, go, whoa, my thoughts are really giving me some craving right now. Maybe another thing that you have is some physical sensations, like your mouth is watering or you have a yearning feeling in your mouth. I just want to eat that, right? You feel kind of antsy and anxious. These are all things that happen to us when we're craving, right? Or so, can you think of any other things that happen to you when you're craving? Let me know in the comments. So we acknowledge at this point. Now we acknowledge. So step number 1, notice that this is happening to us. Step number 2, acknowledge. And what this looks like is same split second behavior as we're sitting there. We acknowledge, oh, this is a craving. We just kind of name it, right? We just say, this is what's happening to me. I'm having a craving. And we just, as I said, we just kind of name it. We go, okay, here's what's happening to me right now. Instead of just not listening to anything and just eating the brownies, we acknowledge that that's happening. The next thing that we do is allow. And I'm going to explain this. This is a little bit more complicated, but this is the actual way, the word allow. This is a big thing that comes up in the Eat to Live Academy that I created, in the Eat to Live family. This is the big technique. And I can't believe I'm actually giving this to you right now because I'm sort of giving away one of the big things. Moo, stop it. But we are going to be going way more in depth into this in the family and practicing it together and working through it. And I'm going to give you some other little helpful tips and things you can do to really solidify your practice with this. But here's allowing. Okay. So step number 3 is to allow. Now, I want to tell you the difference between allowing and resisting or ignoring, which is something that everyone always tells you to do. Like all other diet books will tell you to resist or use willpower or distract yourself. Yeah. So it looks like those people would tell you to just create a new habit, right? Just create a new habit and put your running shoes next to your bed, or just set your alarm for 10 minutes earlier, or just throw out all the junk food in your house, right? Which can be useful in the beginning, but it's not sustainable. We're going to come across junk food. We're going to go to parties. We want to have a social life. So there's people that say, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. I just think that is so disempowering, because the solution to all of this is not in our house. It's not in stopping going to holiday parties or stopping going to restaurants. It's not cutting off ourselves from the outside world. The solution is right here. Like if the problem is right here, then the solution is right here, okay? The problem is our thoughts, it's our mindset. Certainly some of the problem is the food around us and everything. And so you could argue that, no, you have to cut yourself off from it. But no, I don't say that that's true at all. I say, isn't it more useful to practice the skill of getting good at it in our own mind and not have to change anything about our outside world? We don't have to change. We don't have to not go to restaurants anymore or anything like that. So that's That's what I say we should do instead. And it works. And I want to tell you how. So allowing, instead of resisting, throwing in all the junk food and never going to holiday parties, anything like that, instead we learn to allow our cravings. So they talk about this a lot in Zen Buddhism and these kinds of philosophies where we are practicing non-attachment, where we're practicing the ability to have no drama, right? Like not this like crazy, oh my God, I have to eat the brownies, right? What we're trying to do is go to a place of peace instead of a place of crazy, urgent, hurricane like desire, right? Because which one is going to be easier to deal with? Of course, it's peace. Similarly to any other situation in our life, our relationships, our relationship with money, with our husbands, with our kids, with our parents, being calm and peaceful in any situation when any storm is going on, COVID, a death in the family, whatever, a job loss, whatever it is, if we can be peaceful, and I'm telling you, you can, if we can be peaceful in any kind of moment that we have, or we can at least find peace, that's when we start to make better decisions. So I want to explain the difference then. So resistance is like, go for a walk when you're having a craving, or there's the distraction method too, or just take a bubble bath, right? Or chew some gum or drink some water. These kinds of things are what everyone will tell you to do to get all the food out of your house, right? This is what most people will tell you to do in the diet industry. Exercise instead, whatever it is. But what I want to tell you is how to actually do this with the power of your own brain. So it's this technique called allowing. And I'm going to tell you about that in just a sec. We are talking about this in relation to the Eat to Live family, which is a monthly coaching membership I'm opening up. If this sounds good, yeah, Jerome says, okay, that makes sense. A reprogram, like reprogramming. That's exactly what we're doing. So we have been programmed by these junk food companies and all this stuff around us, the diet industry. We've been programmed to try to do habit building or whatever, or we've just been programmed to eat this terrible food. We can reprogram ourselves. We have the capability. We have the ability to deliberately choose our thoughts. And that's what I teach you in the Eat to Live family. So in the Eat to Live family monthly coaching membership, we're going to be talking about how to do this stuff. I'm going to coach you exactly how to do it in your own life with your own issues. Teresa, hey babe, you're in the academy or in the family. I'm so excited. Let's see your name. I'm not sure if your name is up here. Actually. Oh, there you are, right there. Teresa joined too. She says, I never allow, I move too quickly. Exactly. And that's what we all do. We all just end up with the brownies in our mouth going like, shoot, I'll do it next time. Right? I just wanted to have that flavor. I just wanted to have that taste. And so that's what we're going to be learning in the Eat to Live family. I'll tell you how to do this just briefly here on this call. And then I want you to join the family because we're going to go deep dive into this stuff. Deep dive into another technique called the model, which is going to literally change your entire life. It's changed my relationship with my mom. It's changed my relationship with my husband, my kids. It creates peace in any situation that's going on. And it's just such a beautiful feeling to have empowerment yourself, to be able to do what you need to do in life to move forward instead of being stuck in these patterns that we have. And yeah, Teresa, she's in the family. I'm so excited. Okay, so if you guys are interested in the family, it's open for registration right now and at the best price it ever will be. It's going to go up in price every time we open it again. So if you don't get this price today, you're never going to get this price again. Yeah. So consider joining. There's a link in the description. I'm going to put another one in the comment section here so you guys have that easily to go to info.thewateringmouth.com/join the family monthly coaching membership. We're going to be all together helping each other out. And you get the Eat to Live Academy for free. You get my weight loss vlog for free. You get 2 live group coaching calls where you're going to be able to come on the Zoom with me and I'll be able to coach you in person and everyone else will be able to watch and sort of crowdsource what you're saying and your issues and your solutions. And there's also, it's a whole community by itself. So it's not Facebook. It's not this distracting, squirrel kind of shiny object thing. It's whole, I'm paying for this whole new platform so that we can all be together and not distracted off of Facebook. So consider joining. Going to be amazing. Now, allowing. How do we allow? And even once you learn this, it still requires practice and probably even some extra coaching to be able to apply it in your life. So what is the difference? As we talked about, resistance is when you, as we say, are sort of pushing that beach ball under the water. It's going to come back. It's going to pop up and you're going to have that craving again. But how do we actually get rid of the craving? Is by allowing. So what does allowing look like? We'll take the example of when you're at your friend's house and they're having dessert and you're sitting there with your coffee wondering, how am I going to get out of this, right? Like, how am I going to not eat this? Whereas before, your pattern might have been to just have the brownie and give up and, okay, I'm going to have it. But what we do when we allow, we've already noticed that craving. We've already acknowledged that we're having a craving. And now allowing is to allow the craving to be there. And what I mean by that is allow the discomfort of the craving to be there because it feels not so fun, right? You've got those racing thoughts, you've got a watering mouth, you've got urgent desire, you're antsy, you're anxious, you feel like your skin is crawling, you just want to eat that thing, you can't stop thinking of it, right? Allow that terrible feeling to be there. Because guess what? Cravings don't kill you, right? Have you ever had a craving for something and then you noticed if you didn't eat the thing that you just passed out on the floor and died? No, of course not, right? Like that's not how cravings work. Cravings are just there to get you to do something. But if you, for instance, could momentarily, you had some work to do or something like that, and you did end up distracting yourself, you can make it go away and it doesn't kill you ever. Hey, Misty, I'm so glad to see you, sweetie. Yeah, so cravings, they can just go away. It's not that big of a deal. And having a craving never kills us, right? So we can sit there in that moment. So this is what it would look like. You're sitting there with those brownies there and you are having the craving of your life, right? You can taste it. You know what that's going to feel like, chomping down and that soft, ooey gooey kind of a brownie thing. And you're like, oh, this sounds so good, whatever. And you can't stop thinking of it. They're talking, they're all having a good time because they're eating their brownies and they don't have to really think about it. And all you're doing is thinking about the brownies and why can't you eat the brownies, whatever. So you're sitting there and you say, okay, I see that I'm having a craving. It's totally okay. I'm going to allow this to happen to me. I'm going to allow this. And how that looks is amazing because it actually takes less time than you think it's going to take. You go, okay, I am just going to feel this feeling. Period. That's it. That's allowing. You feel the feeling of that discomfort, of that craving, just washing over you, being very uncomfortable, whatever. And you say, I can totally feel a craving. I can totally handle this. It's no big deal. It's not going to kill me. I'm going to feel this. And I'm telling you guys, the second that you decide to allow a craving versus resisting it, cravings go away like that. Within just a few seconds, typically, cravings will go away. It could take up to a minute or something, but typically it's just a few seconds. The craving will go away because your brain goes, oh, she's on to me. She's not going to eat the food. She's playing hardball kind of a thing, and it will just make that craving go away. Becoming aware of those feelings, becoming aware of what's happening to you, and then accepting it for what it is. This is what I'm talking about with being not reactionary to things, like being not attached to things. You're not attached to those brownies, right? Like you don't have to have them. You can walk out the house after the night is over and, within an hour or something, like never think about this again. And it's totally fine. It's not going to kill you to not have the brownies. So you can be very unattached to it. And that's what we are practicing. We're practicing getting better and better at this. Now, is it easy in the beginning? No. And I'm telling you, the first one is the hardest to just decide to, because we've always ever just decided to eat the food. But this time we're actually going to decide to want the food instead of eating the food. Okay. So we're sitting there allowing this craving, allowing this to happen to us. We notice at some point, wow, it just goes away. The craving just goes away. And you're like, I can't believe that actually went that fast, right? Goes away. And then the last step we have is to assess, right? So you don't even have to do the assess step at the dinner party. You can do the assess step later, the next day or whatever, when you're thinking through what happened, because sometimes we're going to actually allow cravings and they will go away. And sometimes we're going to decide not to allow cravings and eat the brownie instead. And this is where the assessment part comes in, where we're starting to just acknowledge what happened. We're looking at how we handled it. What did we do? How did it go? And as we're assessing and seeing how it went, instead of just eating a ton of brownies and then going home and eating more food. I used to do that a lot. Like I would go to eat a bunch of stuff and then come home and still be craving stuff, and I would still eat stuff at home. And never like look at what happened. Because the next day would roll around and I'd be like, I'm not gonna do that again. And then I would never make any progress because I just kept doing that same pattern, right? So when we assess and we actually see what happened to us and how we chose that, how it happened to us and how we handled it, and we start to look at how could we handle things differently in the future, that's when, after doing this process, this 4-step process over and over and over again, and just continuing to try this is what actually creates that change over time. Okay, this is what rewires that brain, as Jerome was saying, reprograms our brain over time. That, oh, look, this person is now in charge of their own brain, right? Look, Cheri, I know you are no longer a person who responds to me when I give you all these crazy cravings. So I'm going to stop serving you cravings now because I'm going to conserve my energy and not that you're not going to answer, basically. And that's how the brain then relearns or learns how to give you normal signals over time, because you've you've strengthened that ability to reprogram it. So it goes back to the way it should be, which is natural, which is less attachment to food and things like that. That's how we run, right? Okay, so that is the 4-step process to stopping food cravings for good. It probably sounds weird if you haven't heard it before, but it is the way to do it. This is, as I said, sort of Zen for dummies. It's like Zen is that non-attachment, that lack of drama, just the peace. There's no drama about food anymore. We just go to the friend's house, we have a great time with our friends, and we don't eat the brownies, right? We just have a salad. It's fine. Wouldn't that sound like something that would be useful, to be able to just be not attached to stuff? And you don't have to eat brownies but if you want one, you can have one, but it's not like that crazy, like you get to actually choose instead of feeling like it's completely out of your control, right? Okay, so that is the 4-step system, the 4-part system for stopping food cravings. This is a rinse and repeat situation. So you keep doing this, keep practicing. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And eventually those cravings, in conjunction with high nutrient food, which does a lot of the work for you, but you don't have to eat high nutrient food. This can still work otherwise with a lot of other techniques that I'm going to be giving you too. But eating high nutrient food reduces those detox symptoms. It reduces the sort of issue that we have with eating this way 50, 60, 70% of the way. And then the rest of the way is working on this mindset to the point where it's just easy. We don't really have any issues with food anymore. Okay. So give me some questions. Give me some feedback. Give me something here that shows me that you're still here, still listening. What was one thing that you learned from what I said here? What seemed interesting? Stacy, hello. What was interesting to you? What did you learn? Let me know in the comments section, or shoot me a question. Do you have any questions? Because if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to take off. But that was the lesson. That is how you stop food cravings for good. As I said, I can't believe I gave you this whole thing, because this really is how you do it. But I do know, even from my perspective, just learning this wasn't enough. I actually had to try it for myself. I had to practice. I had to learn more things about how other people did it and things like that. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the Eat to Live family, is specifically how to do this in your own situations. Miles, of course. Now I gave Miles a brownie craving for sure. And Miles, you have the ability to make that craving go away. And Mike says, thank you very much for the effort you put in for others. You're so welcome, Mike. So if you guys are interested, I really want you to join the family, of course, because it's going to be the place where we can, yeah, Abby says the same as Miles. Now you guys are all craving brownies, right? Good. Join the family, because then I can show you how to deal with these cravings and how to get over them and how to change that dialogue in your head because I remember back when I used to have a lot of cravings and things like that, I had a story in my head that like once I started craving something, the craving wouldn't go away unless I ate the food, right? But what I teach you in the family is how to deliberately choose your thoughts. So when you have a thought like that, you get to choose, no, I'm not going to believe that. I'm just not going to have any brownies, right? And then even the thought of brownies just goes away, poof, disappears after some time of work. Another way to allow those cravings is even when you're thinking of something, it's not even right in front of you when you're thinking of a food, and you can kind of use this same exact pattern over and over and over again. Yeah, Cheri, make some high nutrient Dr. Furman brownies. So that sounds like a good idea, right? But then you end up overeating the high nutrient brownies if you're anything like me, right? So that is actually the same kind of a thing as resisting or substituting or distracting, right? And for me, I know a lot of the time what I would do is I might make something like that. I would probably eat the whole pan of them, and then I would still want regular brownies anyways, right? But what I want to show you guys and what I want to teach you, what I'm going to be teaching you in the family, is how to deliberately choose your thoughts to support the action and the result that you want. So when you actually want a result of not being a person who is reactionary towards foods and things like that, and want to be someone who's sort of in control of your thoughts, and you don't get swayed that much by these thoughts that come up, that's what I'm teaching you, is how to choose your thoughts deliberately, how to notice and be able to change over time. So Stacey says, yeah, that's that way. If I want something sweet, what is a better choice? Yeah. So, I mean, it's something you could try. I just know from me, one of those people who's just kind of high on the food addiction scale, right? Substituting foods doesn't work for me because I end up eating all the food. And I get really creative too. I don't know if you guys are like this, but like if rid my house all bad foods, then I get super creative, and I will make a bad food out of a good food, right? And I will overeat it like crazy. So that's kind of my struggle. So that's why I find like substitution, where you go and make something healthy instead, I will overeat that healthy thing. That's why I feel like it's so important for us to be able to do it in our minds instead of doing it with an outside circumstance of making something healthier or whatever. If we can just get over that craving in the first place, that's where the money is, where the peace is. And there's the allowing that to happen to us and be peaceful. My daughter's crying again. It's distracting me, but just like last time, she's going to come back in here like she did last time. But and Abby says, definitely need to sign up. Yeah. Thank you for this valuable lesson. You're so welcome, Abby. I can't wait to give you guys more of this. I mean, check out all the people who are already in the family. You are on this call right now. I'm so excited to see you and meet you and get to actually have a space where we can interact like this. And it's not just like me talking all the time. I can actually coach. You can give me information about your situation, and you can start to really like narrow down what it is about your life that triggers you, what it is about what you go through on a daily basis that triggers you and kind of keeps you stuck. Let's open that up. And what we're going to be doing is it's a group coaching membership. So imagine we'll be on a call like this where it's going to be me and whoever I'm coaching. I'll be coaching them. You guys will be able to watch and hear what they have to say. And then you can come on as well and more. And, I'm going to coach several people at a time, do these little group coaching sessions. So there's that every month. We're going to be doing 2 of those a month. I'm going to be teaching you lessons like this. We'll be doing the group coaching. And what I love about group coaching is when you're watching someone else be coached, it might not be your specific exact issue, but just watching them be coached and watching their specific issues and going, oh, I can relate to that, right? Because it's kind of similar to this in my life. And I wonder what she has to say about what the solution is for that. We're going to be drilling down and continuing to practice these things over and over and over again in all the various applications. And this just isn't for food and weight loss. I mean, this is relationships, how we deal with our mother-in-law, all that kind of stuff, our relationship with money and all that kind of thing. So, thanks, Miles. He says, all joking aside, you do an amazing job. Thanks, Miles. I appreciate that. Okay, my daughter is melting down out there, so I gotta go. But I want you guys real quick, I'm just gonna give you one more minute to offer any other thoughts or questions. Eat to Live Family is open for registration right now, and it's closing in just a couple days. You will not be able to get into it in a couple days after this for several months. It is the best price it will ever be, like ever for history right now. Every time I open it again, the price is gonna go up. And right now I'm closing it down because I need to be able to get in there and create all this stuff for you and be there for you and really hone in and deal with the new members, all these wonderful people. I'm going to deal with all you guys, know you, help you out, and just get started. Everything's opening up on February 1st. So you want to get in February 1st, the day for you to just start changing and start to learn how to take control of your mindset, really, right? Like learn how to have discipline, learn how to have control over your thoughts instead of always just like going with the tides of whatever food is around you, right? Or that sort of a thing. I want to be able to teach you how to have that discipline to reach any goal that you're looking for. Okay, so no comments or anything like that. Great. We had some really great comments here today. So thank you guys for giving me some good stuff here. Go to the link info.thewateringmouth.com/join the family. I hope to see you in there. Registration, as I said, is only open for a few days. You're going to get the 2 group coaching calls. They're all going to be recorded and you can watch them. Like even if you come in later, you can watch past calls. You're going to have access to my full digital 8-week Eat to Live Academy, which is my entire coaching program in a digital course. You can watch the whole thing, do the whole thing. So that's included. That's like a $497 value or more. You get access to my personal weight loss vlog, which I'm recording right now to explain how I'm losing weight. Like I've lost 9 pounds already in the last month. And I explain exactly how I do it, what I'm doing with my mindset and everything, and how you can do that too. You will also get access to a brand new community like platform. This is not on Facebook. We're going to be all together being able to commune and do something in very Facebook-like fashion where we can post and talk and private messages, and we're going to have live calls and all that kind of stuff, but it's only for this particular topic. So if you really wanted to just knock this weight loss thing or healthy eating thing out of the park, learn how to do it for good, this is going to be a distraction-free zone where we can all come together and we're going to make friends, have a beautiful community of people who are all doing the same thing, okay? I think there's probably 1 or 2 other things, but I can't remember right now. But that's in a nutshell what the Eat to Live family is. And it's a super, 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 super crazy, stupid, affordable monthly price to be in this membership. And as I said, get in on it now because the price is going up every time I open it again, which is going to be 3-4 months from now. Okay. So check out the Eat to Live family. I hope to see you in there, and let us know if you need anything by email. We're here standing by to answer questions and everything like that. Go to the link. You'll learn everything you need to know about the family, and hope to see you in there. So happy Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for spending time with me, you guys. All my love to you, and certainly all my love to these amazing, amazing people who have already joined the family. I can't wait to see you in there. Have a great day. Okay.